Friends, although you all must have seen a myriad of various objects and materials, among others, have you ever encountered something that genuinely amazes you? Completely goes against physics laws and challenges natural laws? Well, in today's video, I will show you some of the world's most weird and such objects that you wouldn't believe exist in this world. So let's begin our countdown. First up, friends, the object you are seeing in the first glass appears to be an ordinary item, but you wouldn't believe that it's actually one of the world's most rare and fascinating artifacts ever discovered. Most bizarre objects. It was invented in 1995 by the visionary mathematician Vladimir Arnold. Its shape is somewhat like an egg. And although an egg has a completely smooth shape without any edges, the shape of the gum bag looks like an egg with edges. This object is so weird that nothing else in the world has this shape. Well, the shape of the gum bag is indeed strange. But another very interesting thing to note is that all the objects in the world, whether you intentionally drop them or after they are spinning, they naturally come to a single place and stabilize. But this is the only object in the world that, if you push it from its place, it keeps oscillating for hours continuously without stopping. But the reason behind this is that inside the gum bag, there are two resting points, which unlike other similar things, make it unique. It cannot be stable under any condition until it finds its exact balance point on the ground. This object keeps wobbling like this, even if a push is given. Actually, that Russian mathematician created this object to explore the physical structure of clusters and the ability to move and balance his own body. But nowadays, most people use it as an anti-stress toy, and this object is indeed very strange with waterproof material. Friends, you must have often seen things that are waterproof nowadays. Smartphones, smartwatches, bags, clothes, walls of houses, and even any object can be made waterproof. But do you know how waterproof things are made and what materials are used to make them waterproof? Actually, it's the magic of a hydrophobic substance, which consists of aluminum oxide and nanoparticles. By mixing these two chemicals, a coating is prepared, which, if applied to the surface of any object, makes it rough, preventing water from seeping inside. This material was invented by a scientist named Walter. Actually, he was inspired by lotus leaves to create this material because lotus leaves are also waterproof, and water does not seep into them. Nowadays, the substance can be coated on any object in the world, which further increases its life and durability, and the material becomes absolutely waterproof. It was indeed not less than a revolutionary material. Friends, normally, metal is first melted down, and different things are then made from it, finally molded into whatever desired shape. So metal always remains like this, but what if I tell you that there exists a metal in the world that can transform its shape on its own? It sounds impossible to hear, right? How can metal itself change? But this metal you are seeing was discovered in 1959 by a scientist named William J. in the US. Its special feature is that no matter what shape you give it, as soon as heat is applied to it, the metal returns to its original state, as you can see in the video. Firstly, in this shape, there's a pin-like object, and then it's opened up, but as soon as heat is applied to it, it returns to the pin shape again. Actually, the metal contains such particles that can be bent or reshaped when cooled, but as soon as they are heated, they return to their original condition. This metal is indeed one of the great marvels of nature. Rattle bags, friends, if bottles, stones, pens, or spinners, etc., or even any object in the world is considered, normally it can be rotated on both the right and left sides. But have you ever observed an object that can spin exclusively on one side, and if you attempt to manipulate it, it responds in a uniquely and counterintuitively astonishing manner? If you try to rotate it to the other side, it returns to its original position. It starts spinning the other way when you see this unjungle stone. Its name is rattleback, and it was discovered in the 19th century by an Egyptian archaeologist. This stone is so strange that it can only be rotated clockwise. If you attempt to turn it anti-clockwise, instead of spinning that way, it flips and begins rotating clockwise again. Research suggests that all this marvel is due to the shape of the stone. In fact, its shape completely defies the laws of force and gravity. The people of Misar utilize this particular stone for various purposes, yet its exact function remains unknown. That fact is not known, but its shape is so amazing, it spins on only one side in the entire world, as many objects are still made that also begin to spin in only one direction. Well, this invention by the Egyptians is truly remarkable. Friends, if any object in the world is set on fire, it either melts at a point or gets destroyed in some way. Although it can be damaged by burning, starlight remains an object that is nearly impossible to burn, showcasing this amazing material. Was invented by a British chemist named Mirage in the 1980s. Due to the mysterious nature of this material, no one knows to this day. How it was made continues to fascinate many. It was a remarkable white substance that could easily withstand extreme heat, demonstrating its superior properties. In the BBC Tomorrow World show, this material gained a lot of popularity, whatever it was applied to. Could withstand heat up to 100,000 Celsius. Even on the BBC show, an egg coated with it was subjected to extreme heat, but the egg couldn't even boil. Scientists from NASA's department in the USA also wanted to use it in their space missions, but the Americans couldn't make a deal with those scientists. There were many attempts to get the formula of starlight from this chemist. Even big pharmaceutical companies offered millions of dollars. Mirage chose not to reveal the formula of this substance to anyone, and unfortunately kept it completely secret. He died before he could reveal the formula. Whatever the reason, the material is truly amazing, solid and gas. Friends, this is the video you are watching. At first glance, this video may seem like a magician is displaying his magic, but you will be surprised to know this isn't magic, but just the marvel of a gas. Actually, this video shows an empty glass jar in which an aluminum container is being poured over. In reality, inside this jar exists a gas called sulfur hexafluoride. The funny thing is that this gas doesn't even float in the air. Despite being invisible, you can keep it in an open container. Not only that, just like you can pour a liquid into a glass and then into another container, similarly, you can also transfer this gas into any object, but the only difference is that this gas is invisible. No one can see it. Even if this gas is poured into a container, nobody will see it. But if you place a metal object in the same container, this gas will begin to float effortlessly in the air, since it is remarkably heavy and possesses the ability to carry any object with ease. In any case, this gas is unquestionably very unusual and extraordinary. Visible cloak, friends. Many of you must have seen that cloak in the Harry Potter movie, which makes a person invisible when worn. Although it was all fiction, what if I told you that now, highly advanced materials have been invented around the world that possess the extraordinary ability to make you completely invisible in various real-life situations today? Because the material you see works like a reflection. Basically, for any person, it can turn you invisible. What kind of technology is this that is being used especially within the army to evade enemies? The interesting thing is that you can buy this material online and try it on anyone. It's really unbelievable.
Hey everyone, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and hit that bell icon, okay?